fatstacksblog.com, and today I want to talk about the crank and bank content strategy. This is a strategy I use mostly across many sites. Now I want to make it very, very clear here that this is not the only content strategy available to you. It's one of several. It's my favorite. I use it the most, but it's not the only one I use. Another common strategy that I will, I guess, one day put a video together on, but it's not my super area of expertise, but it's called, well, the rank and bank strategy. But let's leave that for another day. That's different. What's the crank and bank strategy? Well, let me tell you what that's about. What is it? Okay, let's consider a manufacturing type business. We've got mass production, factory versus boutique, which is more of a customized service. All right, now I liken the crank and bank strategy for websites as more of a mass production. Now that doesn't mean that you're producing garbage, you're just able to be more efficient, you produce more content, and I'm going to get into the how and the why and all of that shortly. But that would be versus more of a boutique approach, which is fewer output and putting more effort into each unit of output, and that would be more like the rank and bank. Now when I talk about output here, I am talking about the overall approach to content on a site. All right, it's not when you're doing the rank and bank, there's a lot of post-publish work, the stuff I don't like, which is why I tend to do the crank and bank. All right, post-publish work is promotion, outreach, link building, on and on and on and on. All of that stuff. Not bad. It's very, very good. If you like doing it and you've got systems in place, very, very effective, without a doubt. But if you don't like it and you don't want to build links and you don't want to buy links and you don't want to do contact a million people begging for a mention and all of that, then there's the crank and bank. So let's get into it. What is it? Well, in a nutshell, it's going after low competition keywords. Now, I put in our little handy dandy fancy screen there, long tail. It's a bit of a misnomer, all right? Just because a keyword is long tail doesn't mean it's ripe for easy ranking. There are some long tails that are very competitive, but typically speaking, your low competition keywords are going to also be long tail. What is long tail? Well, it's a longer keyword. It's not one word like shoe. Good luck ranking for that. But it would be something like white basketball sneakers for large feet. That's a long tail. I also know that's a very low competition keyword. It means that there aren't a lot of sites going after it. The sites that are going after it, those pages don't have a ton of authority. In other words, if you go after it, chances are pretty good you're going to be able to get some traffic to it. And that's the whole point. The whole point is this: you publish the article, you let it simmer, and it slowly rises in the ranks because there's not a lot of competition. And I love this. I love this model. And it was a huge aha moment. I didn't come up with it. I put the silly name to it. Seems to stick. I've had a lot of FatStacks readers reference, oh, the crank and bank strategy, the crank and bank strategy. I'm like, oh, wow. I guess it's a term now. So I didn't come up with it. I remember reading a long time ago. I used to do, back pre-Penguin days, a lot of link building and all that stuff. Just the worst tasks ever, but I did it because it worked. And then I read about somebody who mentioned on a forum, I think it was a Warrior forum, and they're like, I don't understand why people would all go after the same keyword that 100 sites target, that 10 or 20 of them have huge authority and lots of links and all that. Why would you go after that when there are literally untapped tens of thousands of keywords that no other site is targeting, and all you have to do is publish an article and it basically fills the vacuum, the void, and you rank and you get traffic. Now it may not be as much traffic, but it's traffic. And I'm thinking, whoa, yeah, no kidding. I could find those. All right. So that was a big aha moment. That's what I've been doing for the most part since then. Not exclusively, but for the most part. So low competition is key. All right. Now there are two approaches to this. One is fast and a diverse. And basically what you're doing is just taking your URLs. This is not a bad approach when you're starting out. And then there's the slow and steady. Okay. So let's talk about that. All right. The fast and diverse is this. You start a new site. And if you follow my approach to setting up sites, you tend to go into a fairly broad sector. You don't do a really super narrow niche site unless you're doing B2B, totally different topic, different type of niche site. Save that for another day. But if you're going into your general content niche sites, B2C, broad category, lots of subtopics, lots of growth potential, that's what I like. Okay, so, but where do you start? What topics are you going to cover? Because there are a lot of topics you can cover. So you stake your URLs. You start publishing a lot of content very, very quickly. If you write it yourself, write fast. Learn to write fast. Outline, outline, outline. The faster you can write your outlines, the faster you fill in the blanks. I love fill in the blank. That's why I do outlines, detailed outlines. And how do I get those outlines done? That's coming up. All right, so fast and diverse. If you pay for content, pay for lots of it. And get it out there. Staking URLs, right? Long tail, low competition keywords, get them out there, get them on the web, spider them in the algos. What happens is eventually some are going to hit. Okay, this is what you want. Okay, we're at the experimentation stage, and you know this whole approach came up for me as an accident. Basically, staking your URLs. 6 years down the road now, in on my biggest niche site. It's been 6 years, good 6 years, and I was doing what everybody else was doing in the niche when I started out, going for the same keywords. I wasn't getting anywhere. No surprise, because there were huge established sites doing the same thing as me. And I thought, you know, okay, I'm going to try something different. So I targeted something totally different. Nobody else had covered. I do have to admit I got a little bit lucky with this, right? Because there was actually a lot more traffic than I realized. And actually, that's a good point, because Ahrefs and the keyword research tools will tell you how much traffic there are, but sometimes there's a lot more traffic there than shows, and you can get lucky. And that, again, that's why you do a lot of this. You'd be surprised how much more traffic there is than you might think. Anyways, I got lucky. There was a lot of traffic. I published. I hit a couple articles. I did just two articles in totally different topics within the sector. Boom, I was getting tons of traffic. I carpet bombed that topic like you wouldn't believe. I still publish new articles on that topic. I just did last week. And the reason is Google loves my site for those topics. I staked my URLs, I staked my keywords early on, and I just hammered it. I went after it hard, every angle I possibly could. I'm still covering it. And that's what you want to do, okay? So fast and diverse, throw a bunch of stuff up there on a bunch of different topics. Really good. You got to go low competition when you're starting out, though. Really low competition. And the reason for that is your site's not going to rank for anything other than almost, it has to be filling a void. It has to be like Google's like, well, we got nothing else. This is it. I guess we'll put it number one because there's nothing else. That's what it's got to be. New site. That's just the way it is. You're not trusted, no authority. Okay, that's what you want to do, and you want to get in there, and you want to see what works. And when you see one that works, you hit that topic hard. You even go for the high competition keywords. You go for everything. Nail it. Flesh it out. Become the authority on it. And this is where you change your hat. This is important. You go from marketer to publisher. All right. These days, I liken myself to a publisher. I'm not a marketer. Okay, it doesn't mean I ignore SEO. I'd be a fool to, but I'm a publisher, and what that means is I think when I'm nailing out these carpet bombing these clusters, I'm thinking more about what does the audience need to know on this topic than what can I target for keywords. Now, I'd be a fool to ignore the whole keyword, of course, and the on-site SEO and all that stuff. But I actually do pay attention and think about how could I structure this article that's going to help the reader, that's going to benefit the reader. What topic should I cover that the reader should know? And I will publish articles that have absolutely no search volume in Ahrefs, just because I think it's a topic that's relevant to the cluster. Okay, so publisher versus marketing hat. Now, when you're carpet bombing, you got to slow it down a little bit in that you need to publish really good content. Even though it's low competition, low search volume, you want to be the authority on this. Like stake your claim on that topic. Hit it hard, and don't skimp on the quality. Write it yourself. Do a really good job. If you outsource it, get good writers. Get good writers. Instruct them really well, in-depth, detailed content briefs. Tell them what you want and they will deliver. Hopefully they deliver. Review what they deliver and send back for revisions if it's not up to standards. All right. So Got a little note at the bottom there. This is not the only content strategy that works. Lots of other content strategies work. This is just one. Moving on. How do we do it? All right, the secret sauce is the keyword research. All right, it all starts, it all boils down to the keyword research. Now, I am going to tell you right off the bat the four tools. Yes, there's the fourth is, well, it's a joke and it's not a joke. But first off, I use Ahrefs, SEMRush. I've paid for. It's great. I just prefer Ahrefs. If you don't want to pay the 100 or 200 or whatever these Ahrefs SEMRush costing, Ubersuggest is good. I think it's costing money now as of like last week, but I think there's still a lot of free features there. So Ubersuggest is good. Here's the thing with Ubersuggest, though, I don't use it a whole lot. I think it's awesome. I think Neil Patel, I mean, for being free, I mean, it's great. It's not that the guy is altruistic, I doubt, but really great tool. I'm not really sure how accurate the whole keyword difficulty score is. People who've used it might know better than me, but I don't. I've used the Ahrefs keyword difficulty score, and it's not perfect, but it's half decent. I actually like it more than SEMrush too. But anyways, aside from keyword difficulty score, there are ways to figure out without a keyword difficulty score how low competition a keyword is. Type it into Google, take a look, see what's ranking. The best ones are the ones that are ranking when the keyword's not even the title, like not even close. All right, that means like boom, there's like literally a vacuum there, and you just got to publish something, and it's going to go right to the top. All right, you got to love that. That's not going to happen a whole lot. So, but when you find those, good. Okay, so these are the tools I use. Ahrefs, but Ubersuggest will do the job. Keywordchitter.com, answerthepublic.com, and your brain. Answer the Public, you get 3 free searches a day. Use them wisely. Don't waste them. I do have an issue with Answer the Public's charging $100 though a month. I would pay $20 a month for that. How's that? Anybody there listening? I'll pay $20 a month for it. I think $99 is way too big of an ask for basically one feature. Ahrefs, I think you can get in at around $100 a month, and you do way more. All right, just my 2 cents worth. I love Answer the Public. I use it. I've found really good article topics on there, but 99 is a big ask. Keyword Chitter is free too. That's gold. Definitely use that. Your brain. This comes down to, like, seriously, when you're fleshing out a cluster of articles or a silo, whatever you want to call it, use your brain and think about other topics. I usually, it's interesting. I will find, let's say, 5 keywords within a topic, and they're all related. They're good. I'm going to do it. But then it's sort of like new ones come to me. It's like, oh, well, I could cover that. Oh, and I could do that. And sometimes I'll search in Ahrefs to see if there's search volume. Sometimes I won't. If it makes sense for the audience, I'm going to publish it. For me, it just makes sense. Now, if you're starting out and every nickel you invest has to potentially return a good return for you, you may be a little bit more judicious. I get that. That's cool. But eventually, really, you want to wear that publisher hat. All right. Here's how you do keyword research. Dig, dig, dig. I have spent hours. I have spent days in Ahrefs. Get familiar with the tools. I still don't know it all. That thing, there is so much in there that you can potentially do. It's ridiculous. Like, even if the reported search volumes that it gives per month are not all that accurate, I suspect they're reasonably accurate. They're not 100% accurate. They don't tell you that they're 100% accurate. But anyways, just the ideas you get from different angles and filters and approaches and competition analysis and trying different seed keywords and on and on and on. There are literally so many different avenues to find the keywords that nobody else is going for, especially the big sites. Okay? Low competition means that the big sites don't really care that much. They may rank for it accidentally. It may not even be in the title, just they might have a section in an article, and that's cool. You could outrank that if your article is really, really good. So fly under the radar with the low competition stuff. I love that. I love flying under the radar with great articles, because other sites have no idea how much traffic you're getting to these, and they're looking in Ahrefs and like, oh, 30 search visits a month? Not worth my time. I'll never make that pay. Meanwhile, I'm getting 1,000, maybe 2,000. It's awesome. All right, dig, dig, dig. Use those tools. Play around with it. Get really good at it. Use your brain though. Think about it. Think of different angles. All right. Think of articles from different perspectives. Right. Article types. Okay. I'm going to go to the obvious. Let's say you're doing product review stuff. Well, you can do the review. Everybody knows you can do the review. That is not a new thing. But you can also do comparisons. You can do versus comparisons. You can do the best of. You can do tutorials. You can do how-tos. Okay, those are different article concepts basically to the same topic. All right, but then you can also do related topics on that offshoots of that product line. Okay, so think about it in every direction you can and hit it from every angle. Moving on. You're probably getting bored looking at the same screen. Anyway, how? Continued. Okay, for every topic there are many articles. What does your audience need to know? That's an important question. What does your audience need to know? Become expert within the niche, or at least being able to come up with the topics your audience needs. Now here's the cool thing about operating in a niche site for years and years and years and years, even a year or two, is you're going to start seeing patterns about what works and topics you should cover. And so you'll come up with a new topic, and right off the top of the head, you're going to come up with 10 articles just because you've done it over and over and over. All right. And this, when you get to this stage, it makes things a lot easier. I can literally come up with, I could go back to an article I published, a one-off thing, and it's like on a particular topic, and I could be like, oh yeah, I could do a cluster on that like overnight. Here's 12 more articles, order them up, boom, done. All right. Now, if I want to really get good and hit that topic hard, I'm going to have to pull out the old tools. But for the most part, the more you stay within your niche and do this stuff, the faster it gets. Okay, so I know a lot of you probably watching this are new to this, and keyword research is daunting. Stick with it. Just keep doing it. You get better at it. All right, let's take a quick example here. All right, Aspen, Colorado. Okay, you're not going to rank for that term, but if you do a good job and look at all the, I mean, these topics I came up with in about, 45 seconds. I mean, it's pretty obvious. What do people want to know when they're thinking about going to Aspen? All right, where are good places to eat? Where are good places to stay? Things to do. There are sites dedicated to things to do. But here's the thing, right? There are sites that are all about things to do. That's all they cover. Why not cluster it? Why not, when you're going to hit a town or region or whatever, like hit it hard and, cover all of these. Where to camp, hiking trails, parking. Parking's interesting. I actually did years ago. I was living in a neat little area in my neck of the woods. It was kind of a neighborhood area, and man, just for fun, I'll just put up a website and just about that. And the site, never became a big success or anything, but it was getting lots of visitors. I would get emails, and one page I published, because when you go to these tourist areas, parking is a disaster, right? You never find a parking spot. And so I did this custom map of, where you can park and stuff, like not just the obvious parking lots, but other areas that people would park. And it kind of became a popular page. It was kind of interesting. So parking, you could probably do a whole website dedicated to parking until self-driving cars come along. What to wear for the different seasons. That's something you don't see every day. That's a topic a lot of sites don't cover, but that could be a fun topic. In fact, you could turn a whole website into what to wear for different areas. Kind of a fashion/travel approach. I like that. The airport. You can talk about the airport. Best beaches. All right, no, beaches. There are no beaches in Aspen. All right. Don't be a robot when you do this stuff. You actually got to think about it, right? Don't just cookie cutter everything. I use templates. I have templates for a lot of stuff, but you know what? You still have to use your brain. If you sent a template and it included best beaches to your writer or whatever, they're going to be like, this guy really wants me to write an article on beaches for Aspen. That's a big ask, right? Then you do, this is interesting for travel, for anyone in travel. You could do the versus. I don't see that a lot. I think obviously like New York versus Chicago, probably lots of stuff out there, but get down to the smaller towns, Aspen versus Whistler. Now, blow that up, right? Aspen versus Vail, Aspen versus, I don't know how many resorts there in the Alps. All right, you could literally come up with hundreds of comparison articles. You could do a chart and a whole bit just comparing it. Now, if you're going to do this travel thing, hire writers that are there. Seriously, it's not that hard to do. And a little bit harder than hiring just your general Joe Blow writer off your agency. You're gonna have to look for them. You're gonna have to find people. But you can do like in Writer Access, you can hire people. You could put out a casting call and specify, hey, I'm looking for a writer who lives in Aspen, Colorado, or nearby and can get there. And then the assignment requires that they go there and they get photos and they check this stuff out and they go and know the town. Don't write this based off like other stuff on the web. Like, go get your own photos. It's gonna make a huge difference. And the kicker is, it's not any more money. Seriously, I mean, you're hiring a writer. You could hire a writer who lives in New York and he's going to come make this stuff up. Or you could hire someone who lives in Colorado who is willing to go there for a day or two and get all the photos and check all this stuff out and be able to create really awesome content for you. Big difference, really simple, just an extra step, but totally worth it. Okay, how? Continued. I think I mentioned this. Basically, when you're starting out, go after many topics, diverse, see what works. All right, accidental wins. I kind of call them accidental wins. All right, because you don't really know what's going to start working with your site after 6-7 months. Unless you're doing the whole like pounding it with links and you're doing promotion and you're being more surgical about what you're ranking. That's a whole different strategy. This is just throwing a bunch of stuff out there. But then you're going to see one that ranks. It may be one you never expected. That happened to me. It was like totally unexpected. I can't tell you. I have gotten so much traffic to that first accidental cluster. It's ridiculous, and it still scoops tons and tons of traffic. So, I kind of liken the accidental wins to the old B sides on the vinyl records. The A side was for the big hits. That was the intention. We're going to put the big hits, the good songs, on the A side. And the B side, well, we've got this other side of the record. We got to fill it up, right? We're going to fill it up with B side. Our lousy songs, maybe not lousy, but not as good. No intention to become hits or anything like that. But what's interesting, this is a fun Google search, by the way. B-sides that became #1 hits or big hits, and I did that, and I didn't know this, but "Ruby Tuesday" by the Rolling Stones, is a song I like, was a B-side. All right, so it's an accidental win. So that happens, and that's sort of the angle, the approach with the whole crank and bank when you're starting out. Once you start getting some opportunities with ranking and you're doing the clusters, you get busy. I mean, you're going to focus on those and you're going to build them out. And then you just keep doing that, rinse and repeat. There it is. When one hits, carpet bomb it. All right, last slide. I promised. Why the crank and bank strategy? Okay, first off, it's simple. It's very simple. You need one skill and one skill only: keyword research. If you like keyword research, I like keyword research. I've always liked doing keyword research. Maybe that's why I like doing it. I never like link building. You talk to some off-page SEO folks and, they get a kick out of coming up with ideas for link building. I get that. I think the creativity aspect and the execution's cool. I don't care for it, all right? That's why I love the crank and bank strategy, because I love the keyword research. I like doing it. I like thinking about topics. I like my publisher hat on, all right? It's simple, but I do like keyword research. If you hate keyword research, try a different strategy. This is easy to outsource. I mean, essentially keyword research, content briefs, order up writers, publish. Rinse, repeat. You get to serve an audience. I think really any strategy would do this. This isn't really exclusive to this. More publisher hat, less SEO. I think maybe with rank and bank, it's a little bit more SEO oriented. You're really putting a lot into one article or a few articles. Here, you can go and do some fun, creative stuff, not strictly based on keyword research volumes. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like coming up with fun articles for the audience, and they don't get a lot of traffic, but they get some, and people appreciate it, and I like doing it. I do it on Fat Stacks too. I mean, you'll see some of my titles. There's no search volume for it. I just coming up with titles. Is it the smartest approach? Probably not, but hey, you gotta have fun with this stuff too, and I have fun with it. So not looking over your shoulder. This is huge, 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 right? Like when I look at my website, when a traffic across all the pages or posts. I don't have 10 posts that get all the traffic. Of course, I have posts that get more than others, and I have some that get quite a bit of traffic. But really, it's still a very small percentage of the overall traffic. It's spread across many, many, many pages. If one page goes down in the rankings or one keyword goes down in the rankings, well, I don't like that, but it's happening all the time. The fluctuations are crazy. I'm diversified in that respect, and that's good. I like that. I'm not looking over my shoulder. I don't really go after keywords where the big players are gunning after me, and they're probably eventually going to dethrone. I mean, that's going to happen. They get so many links and they have so much authority. So I'm not looking over my shoulder. I'm kind of flying under the radar, and I like that. So, and diversify traffic across many URLs. I already said that. That's a wrap. That was long. That was a long video about my favorite content strategy. It's not the only one. Do it only if it makes sense to you. Really, fundamentally, it's keyword research. If you don't like keyword research, don't do this. If you love keyword research, I think this is something that you will like and be able to make work. That's a wrap. I do appreciate you watching. If you made it this far, thank you. That's a long video for me. And I know, sticking through that amount of time is not the most fun. So if you're here, thanks. Appreciate it.